And good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to ALPOUGH. Well, we are an adult of our mind. We are an adult of our spirit. We're an adult of our thought. We're an adult of our emotions. We're an adult of our actions. And we're an adult of our love, and I want to give it out to you today. Welcome. Mother Sophia welcomes you today also. Today, so much crazy stuff is in the news. It's so funny. I try to stay away from it, but again, there's just so much going on. And recently here, John Gruden, the Raiders coach, was fired for writing some emails 10 years ago. And it's caused a big stir. Whether or not he was supposed to be fired, really, I don't really have any opinion on it because John Gruden is no different than a lot of people out there. So, but Randy Moss on ESPN, broadcaster, made a comment on it, and he started crying about the way the world is right now, and he's been getting a lot of heat for crying on the air. And this is what really brought it up to me. I was listening to Jason Woodlock, Fearless, who literally tried to tell him he's not a man and this stuff. In defense of, I go back to Jason Woodlock. I met him in at the Chiefs camp back in the day when he was beat writer for the Kansas City Star. And he's always been controversial, but, to me, you took it over the top. You just wanted to get headlines by beating up on Randy Moss, okay? So I'm here to defend not just Randy Moss, but I'm here to defend men and really what's going on here. So today, it's about men crying, yay or nay. When men crying, yay or nay, number 188. Men crying in specifically now in 2021. So this is about today. This is about real time. I'm not dealing with what says it in history books. Let's deal with it today. This is 2021, and we need to know something different than we knew 2,000 years ago. Okay, we're in a different world now, and right now there's a mass psychosis today. It's a psychosis, and it's especially in our country right now, in the good old USA. Okay? What's going on here is roles are changing. People's roles are changing. And sexual roles are reversing. Things are being turned around, right, up, down. And, again, for me, it's not about the roles changing. It's more about the sexual roles changing. And when you're led by your private parts, then something's lacking. And what is lacking here is really what's coming up is a thirsting for truth. Everything's more about not wanting to know the truth of things, but something that's tickling our fancy. Now, I've been talking about the new world design that's going on. All right. What is this new world design? Well, the new world design is basically liars of the new illusion. And when we start believing this illusion, then they're becoming our masters. So for us, in our own personal psyche, we have to be constantly confronting these fake illusions. Now, if you do any confronting on this, it can make you an enemy or even a victim of this mass illusion. So right now, it really looks like that in our society, we are becoming our own worst enemy as a society, fighting amongst ourselves, neighbor against neighbor, family against family over this whether or not to take this jab. Okay, and it's not just about the jab, okay? It's about the right and the left and all this stuff fighting, and we're all in the middle. So we're becoming, this is part of the whole end results, is becoming our own worst enemies and not our own best friend. This is why I always ask people, are you your own worst enemy or your own best friend? If they hesitate, then I know that they're own worst enemy. All right. So what is the result of that? Well, when we look in the mirror, we're actually the wolf in sheep's clothing. We're looking at ourselves, believing the illusion, and when we look in, this is what is the norm. This is why suicide is way up. Because when we look in the mirror, because of the way social media has come at us, we become our own worst enemy. And their job is easy then. So, whoops, our own wolf in sheep clothing. I like that line. So, but it's becoming within us as a result when we look in the mirror and we see a different person that we used to see. Why? Well, because of the way the media is and social media. This is why young ladies are having problems with their image problem. When I talk to most young women, a lot of it is how they see themselves, how they just see themselves just in the mirror. Not how they see themselves on the inside, but how they see themselves in the mirror. And so this whole result that's going on here right now, real time, is mental illness is becoming a norm. This is a mental illness that is coming over us. We've all been isolated. We've all been changing jobs. There's more homeless than there ever has been. People are literally giving up. It's a psychic epidemic illusion that's going on right now. And the society reality is losing touch because of the way that it's spread out to all these new identifications. When even dealing with our own identification is difficult, okay? So these delusions are becoming the reality. This is why so many women are having issues with the way they look. This is why there's the way men are now supposed to act. This is about social media. Social media is what's dictating how we look at ourselves. First on the individual, then in society. When you break it down into society, the individual's self-esteem is being marked. We are now coming into what I call a religious hysteria. Religions are fighting amongst each other. Political hysteria. Well, we're caught in between. Sports hysteria. Drug hysteria. Fear hysteria. And a panic hysteria. These are all things that are going on right now. Right now. Every day when you wake up. And what's lost is compassion. Compassion is a lost gift. Where's your compassion, Jason Whitlock? And all these other people who jumped on Randy Moss. One of the greatest football players of all time, who was only speaking his feelings, and yet he was ostracized and has been ostracized. He had his own pinup, and I would say that Randy doesn't cry enough because it came out in the media, and we know you're not supposed to cry in the media. But again, I'm not here to judge him. And I'm saying to you right now, Randy, and all the rest of you men out there, there is no shame in crying. There is no shame in crying. Randy Moss is not a crybaby. Randy Moss is a man, a masculine man, who is expressing his feelings and has every right to express his feelings. And he used to be a Raider. So I must really feel something about it if I'm talking about a Raider, defending a Raider. I never defend the Raiders. Look at me. I'm part of my sports history. I grew up fighting with the Raiders, you know. So, Randy Moss is not a crybaby. He's actually a man in touch with his feelings. And there's nothing wrong with that. The song, remember the song, Big Boys Don't Cry? Big boys don't cry. Big boys don't cry. Big boys don't cry. Big boys don't cry. Is a lie. It's a lie. I don't know where it got predicated from, that it was not healthy. But, you know, it is healthy. Now, women cry an average of 3.5 times a month, according to the statistics that I could find. Okay? So 3.5 times a month, which is about once a week. Okay? Men, 1.9 times a month. So men normally don't cry more than not even 2 times a month. I have, you know, friends of mine, buddies and stuff, that crying. Even my father didn't cry. Now, I'll just say this for myself. You know, I just think it depends on where you are in your life. When there was lots of death, losing my father, my dog, my mother, my business, these were all things that don't happen every year. So, you know, even a year later, it's been a year since my dad died, it still chokes me up till anything. When I go and see my mother at the memory facility and try to remind her that my dad passed and that her husband is gone, it always gets me, because she always asks about him. So I have to tell her the truth. So crying, number one, it has a soothing effect because you're going to be releasing. Okay? It has a soothing effect. It allows you, you're going to come to, and in the middle of the releasing of the emotion, then after it's released, if you allow it to release, then it actually will give you a soothing effect. Now, it also lets people aware you may need some support. You know, guys are always taught, tough it out. Tough it out. But I tell you what, you show me the biggest football player, and it's very rare you'll see one that hasn't cried over losing a game. They may not put it out in public, but even the football players, man, because it's such an emotional high. If you ever played football, it literally takes it out of you. It's harder loss because it's painful. Okay. Speaking of, crying relieves pain. Relieves pain. It doesn't cause pain. It relieves it. Number 4, it enhances your mood. Once it's done and you've released, it puts you back in a neutral place. Unless, of course, you're not getting the support that you need. So, it does enhance your mood. Now, it also releases emotional pain. It's a releasing of it. Releasing the emotions that build up within. And I'm telling you, when you do this, this makes you physically stronger because you've released this pain that is within you. And when you release this pain, it actually allows you to go on. I know when this happened to me, when I lost my father and my dog, I didn't realize, I had crying hysteria at times. It's not that I'm not afraid to cry. I'm not. I will pick the time to cry. Doesn't mean I'm going to cry in front of everybody. And could mean it. I could care less because I know who I am. Number 6, it helps you sleep. And once you release it, it really is. A lot of times it puts people to sleep. I've said this, hey man, or woman, go cry yourself to sleep. It's okay. It also releases bacteria. It releases bacteria. Do you know when you suck that pain in? All you people in there are sucking your pain in. It causes these hormones in the body that's not good for you. And so crying, which you cry 3 or 4 different kinds of tears, guys, by the way. So in this particular, some tears release bacteria. Okay? So it does help you. So it really is healthy. It also helps you see better. Right? When you're in a dust storm, boy, you can use some tears because it helps you see better. I know. I'm a burner. And you get dust in your eyes. So at the end of the day, everybody, it's masculine and healthy to cry. And Randy Moss, you have my support. It's not macho. It is macho to cry because it releases your feelings. And this is where we have to go with just learning how to accept each other more and more, to bring back this compassion. Compassion means you have the ability to understand what the other person is going through. Even in conflict, to understand. This allows you to understand your circumstances better. By giving compassion to your fellow man and woman. And then it allows you to let go. It allows you to be in what I call spiritual neutrality. And that's where we need to get here. This is where Mother wants us. It's okay to cry. Men and women. So ALPOUGH. Let's get out of the jail and not crying. See you tomorrow on Happy Friday.